Well, welcome to another Nitro Tech review, and this is a review on the LG P500. I did a review on this just as it was released on 2 Degrees just before Christmas, but now it's available on Telecom XT, so it's the 850 meg version, which is also suitable for Telstra and obviously AT&T over in the States as well. So let's take a little bit of a look at the devices sitting here. First of all, you've got the Samsung Galaxy 5. This Galaxy 5 I've upgraded to Android 2.2, and there's an official release of that coming out shortly of 2.2 straight from Samsung as well. This device from LG, the one that we're going to be talking about today, is stock standard with 2.2, in fact 2.2.1, which I understand has better battery life than 2.2 standard. And then I thought I'd put alongside it the old iPhone there as well, just to take a bit of a look first of all at the size. So you can see the screen size there. This one's 2.8 for the Galaxy 5. Then you go up to 3.2 with the LG, and this one here, the iPhone, is 3.5. So you can see that it is slightly bigger on the iPhone, but not by a huge amount. You're getting a little bit of extra space, obviously that half an inch in there as well. So all in all, it certainly does make a huge difference going up from the 2.8 to the 3.2, and then again the 3.5, yeah, I've got to say it does make a bit of a difference there as well in terms of just the ability to be able to type on that. So we're talking about the LG P500 today, and first of all let's just take a little bit of a look around the device. You can see there that it's just got the standard lock screen on it there. In terms of buttons, you've got the menu button, you've got a home button, you've got a back button, and you've got a search button, so nothing too major about that. On this side you've got some really nice easy to press up and down buttons for the volume. On the back of the device, you probably can't see it there, it's been well used over the last wee while. I mean, you can see the fingerprints, but it doesn't pick up fingerprints all that well because it's not a glossy back, it's sort of one of those textured sort of backs, which I quite like. And the 3 megapixel camera on there as well. It's a great camera, it's got autofocus, and it's recessed in there as well, so you're not going to scratch it by putting it down on the table. On the top, you've got the on-off switch. You've also got a little indentation there for getting the back off it, and you have got the volume control in there as well. On the bottom, just a standard microphone and the USB as well. So that's what you've got on the device. Let's move the other devices out of the way and take a look, shall we, at some of the features of the P500. So first of all, as I say, standard unlock screen. So let's unlock this puppy now, and I'll just key in my code. Because I've got the Exchange mailbox on here, it does make you put in that passcode as well. So that's the menu, and one of the things you might notice about the menu on the P500 is the fact that it's put into categories. So you've got applications there, these are the standard ones that come with it, and then down a bit further you've got downloads, which is where you've downloaded applications from the market, and you can make your own categories as well. So this is something we haven't seen on a lot of Android phones, and I think it's a great feature. So let's take a look first of all at what you're going to see on the home screen. I've put a few widgets on here as well because I like to have the weather widgets on there, and then you've got the standard search function with voice search as well from Google. Then there's a couple of buttons down here, and that's the camera application. We'll take a greater look at that in a few moments. But you've got an HTC Sense-like dock down the bottom here, where you can dock different applications. I've just used the standard ones here because I guess they're the ones you use most often, with phone, contacts, the menu button, and then followed by SMS and the browser as well. So you can also put all sorts of different widgets on here. I've expanded this out to the maximum number of 7 home screens, and one of the things you'll notice that comes with the P500 is it automatically installs a number of applications. There's an app advisor there from LG, and if you do the update on it, you'll see some of the applications that they are suggesting. Facebook is installed on it. The one that we're really going to go through with this application is nDrive, and that is the navigation system that's built into this software. there. Also, you've got just the standard ones there. Swipe is included with this, as it is on the Galaxy 5. The Samsung ones have swipe as well, but the LG has also put swipe standard. Think Office, so you can open up all your Office documents when you get them through on email, the voice recorder, voice search, YouTube, all standard stuff. Twitter's also included in this as well, on the standard ROM. It's got a pretty good video player with it. I've downloaded a couple of applications, and as I say, they come down in the downloads part of it. So all in all, it's quite a nice sort of phone with plenty of applications pre-installed. If you want to use the FM radio just like all the other devices, you'll need to plug in your headset. It won't just work on Bluetooth. You need to plug in the headset because that's what it uses for the antenna. It's HSDPA, and it's HSDPA to 7.2, and looks to have HSUPA in it as well. Although you'll need to have a look at the specs of it. We'll run a speed test in a minute, and it seems to get up to some reasonable sort of speeds, certainly when you compare it to the likes of the iPhone and the uploads. So how does it perform? Well, I've been using it for quite a while now, and I've got to say that it performs reasonably well. There is a bit of lag, and specifically when the lag comes in is when you're turning it on, you're waking it up. And there seems to be a bit of lag, particularly if you're going past the home screen. So you can see the scrolling there. It looks reasonably fluid, and it is, but certainly when you wake it up, it seems to just take a little bit of extra time to do some of the tasks. When I push the menu button, let's have a look at that. It seems to come up reasonably quickly there. Obviously I didn't push menu. There we go. And through the menu there, it's quite fluid, and it goes quite nicely. So we'll just take a quick look at the browser, because the browser is pretty good obviously on Android phones, and that's Google coming up now. We're running it on HSDPA rather than on Wi-Fi at the moment, so it might be slightly slower. And then of course you can run through the different bookmarks that you have. So we've got the mobile New Zealand Herald site there. That's a reasonably graphics intensive site, so might take a couple of seconds just to load. That's pretty fast, as you would expect on XT. Their data's pretty quick. Scrolling's pretty good. This is a mobile site, so the mobile site, obviously pinch to zoom isn't going to work on the mobile site, but when you get into the bigger sites, it certainly does have 2-point multi-touch, which is a great advantage over some of the smaller Android devices. The 2.8 devices don't seem to have multi-touch at all, but this 3.2-inch device does have 2-point multi-touch, so you can use it to pinch and zoom in maps, and you can use it obviously in the browser as well, so that's great. It's got the standard sort of applications as you would expect, like navigation in here. And one of the great things about Google is they do include all this stuff, and it's great, you know, voice-guided navigation. The difficulty is, of course, that you're not always travelling in a place where you've got cell phone coverage. So once it's used up all its data, then you're sort of out of luck with your navigation. So that's where this device really shines. They've included nDrive with the package, and also the car cradle, and we're going to take a look at the car cradle in a few moments time and just see how it sits in the car cradle. Generally, I found nDrive pretty good, but the maps are going back to 2009. The 12th of 2009 is the date that it's got on it, which means that they are getting a little bit on, and some of the things like the Taupo bypass, which has been put in, it doesn't come up on your New Zealand map, and I tried to see if there was an update for it and said no, it's the most recent map. So no doubt they'll release an update for that at some stage in the future, but at the moment, you know, you're running on maps that are a little bit old. If there's been any major roadworks, obviously they're not going to be on there. In terms of how it works, the voice guiding works really well. I found that you know, it keeps a pretty good lock. The GPS on this system seems to be pretty good. And I found pretty good battery life on it as well. It'll last a couple of days without too many issues. Obviously, if you're using it heaps, you're probably only going to get through a day. I tend to use it bits and pieces through the day, and you know, I can make it last for a couple of days. Android 2.2 on the standard, and when you do an update on it, Android 2.21. And what that means is apparently it has slightly better battery life on 2.2.1. and also obviously when you're on 2.2, if you're using Exchange, you've got better Exchange integration. It will also bring across your calendar items, where if you're on Android 2.1 it won't bring across your calendar items. Just like most devices these days, when you do the market, go into the market for the first time or second time, you'll find that it'll do the market update to the nice new looking market. So that's just a standard sort of thing, and obviously now you can go into the web application for Android market as well, and you could just send and push these applications to your device once you're set up with your Gmail account. So that works really well. Take a quick look at the camera application, and I guess one of the great things about this particular device is that it has sort of a 3 megapixel camera, which is pretty good, but also autofocus in there as well. So if you're using things like Google goggles where you're going up to a some sort of far away item or even up close item, you'll find that the autofocus will make quite a good job of it, and with Google goggles it tends to get a pretty good lock on what you've taken a picture of. So I find that the autofocus on this is pretty good. The speaker, there's no speaker on the back. The speaker that you're looking for is on the front, and that's reasonably loud, not hugely loud. The voice quality and call quality out of this device I find as good as any others that I've used. I don't find any problems there whatsoever. Obviously you've got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all the rest of it, but one of the things that you have on this device which you don't have on a lot of others is you'll see you're able to turn on Wi-Fi and all of the other bits and pieces, Bluetooth. You can turn that all on straight from bringing down the screen here. You don't have to go into the menu system to be able to turn those things on and off. So I find that a great function of the device as well. As I say, there's many applications that are built in, a lot of them standard Android functionality. It runs the live wallpapers reasonably well. It's running a 600 megahertz processor, and for a big screen, the 3.2-inch screen, it does a reasonable job. As I say, there is a little bit of lag there. It will play DivX out of the box as well, which is a great feature of this particular device. So all in all, if you're looking for a good device, obviously you've got a bit of choice in Android devices now, but there are other devices that are coming out onto the market. So how does it compare? We've got obviously the Galaxy 5. I find the Galaxy 5 to be quite a snappy device, particularly on 2.2. The LG does lag a little bit behind that, and I think that some of the reason for that obviously is that it's powering that bigger size screen. It's not overly laggy, it's just a little bit of lag there on the P500. Just quickly take you through the nDrive software right now, and if you click on the menu over to navigate, go to the address, and I was heading to Palmerston North and Main Street the other day. Anywhere on Main Street is fine, and you can hear it telling you that your route's been calculated, and it'll tell us that we're going to be there in 3.5 hours.
Cross the roundabout and then take the second exit.
Alright, so we can hear it talking to us, and as you see, voice guided navigation, it's going to tell you exactly where we need to go, and as I say, it works perfectly fine. Some of the maps, as I say, are just getting a little bit older, and then of course we can orientate it to landscape if we need to as well. If we're going to put it in the car, obviously landscape might be the way to do it. Very, very capable navigation system. I found no trouble with it at all. It's very easy to use. Some of the original iPhone applications were a little difficult to use, but this one here is certainly not. nDrive seems to work pretty fast and pretty well. One of the things that I did find is that if you don't shut down the application properly, you end up with your GPS sucking away all day and sucking your battery life. So just be aware of that you do need to go into the nDrive application itself and choose exit from the menu rather than just hitting the home screen. Otherwise you seem to end up with a few problems there. So let's just take a look at the car cradle. Now the car cradle is included with the package whether you buy it on 2 Degrees or on Telecom XT, and if you have a bit of a look at it, it's just a standard sort of cradle, and there's nothing too fancy about it at all, but obviously you've got the suction cup for the window there, which is great. You can see that in terms of brightness, it's not as bad as what you're seeing there on the screen. I can certainly see it pretty well, and I had no problems with it in sunlight when when I was doing my little trip a couple of weeks ago. So the one thing to look out for with this device though is that obviously you've got the cable running down. The issue when you've got that cable running down is that there could be a bit of pull on that USB socket in the device as well, so do take care of that. When you're trying to get it out, obviously you're just removing the USB socket itself, and then you can take it out of the cradle just by pushing the button, sliding it out. That's great. You'll also see if there's a little pocket there right here for the camera, so if you were wanting to take snaps while you were driving down the countryside, I guess that's a perfectly possible thing to do, and to get the cradle off is a very easy process as well. So all in all, it's great to have that included with the device, and I think that it's fantastic to have it in the package.